In search of Sanatanadharma in Old English. Now, Sanatanadharma, to begin, it is Sanskrit, and it means eternal natural law, or in some cases, eternal natural way. And this is the actual name for Hinduism, because the word Hindu is not even a Sanskrit word to begin with. It is actually Persian origin. To learn more about Sanatanadharma, I would highly recommend Dharma Nation. It is a fantastic channel to learn about Sanatanadharma. Anyway, let us move on. In Lithuanian, the cognate to Dharma is Dharna. The thing is about Dharma, or Sanatanadharma, every culture has a word to express this worldview, this idea of eternal natural law. Okay, every culture has this. Especially every Indo-European culture has this. Though the words may not all be the same, but it's still the idea, the same idea is still expressed regardless. Sanatanadharma is a universal concept applicable to anyone in the world, just as 1 + 1 = 2 is applicable everywhere in the world. But what about Old English? What is Sanatanadharma in Old English? What was the word that pre-Christian Anglo-Saxons would have called Sanatanadharma? What would they, if someone interviewed them, what would they say? What word they would use to describe their worldview and their spirituality, the whole shebang, if you will. As well, what we do know from Old English texts is that yes, the Anglo-Saxons, the way they described Christianity was through a pagan, heathen, pre-Christian vocabulary, so to speak. A classic example of this is Caedmon's hymn. With this question in mind, it began my journey to find out. In my search, the first word that I found was Endebyrdnes, and this word literally means Endebyrdnes. The thing is with this word, in the context of Old English, it means order of nature. Like you got like enda meaning like fixed, and they got byrdnes meaning ģebϊreþ on its own means a lot of things, and one of those things means rank. It means order. It means one's nature and whatnot, like one's birth, if you will, and whatnot. So I thought, oh, okay, so birthness. Okay, so Endebyrdnes. Okay, so I thought, oh wow, this is a good candidate for Dharma. And this reinforced my assumption with Dharma because, it also means method, it means way, manner. So, okay, so that's like Sanatanadharma, the eternal natural way, manner, if you will. And I thought, okay, cool, this is the word then. Further, what had reinforced this idea that Endebyrdnes was a candidate for Dharma was the sentence that we have the verb here, ģebýreþ, which means to happen and whatnot. It's related with ģebýreþ, meaning birth, fate, one's nature, whatnot, one's birth, if you will, rank, if you will. And we have ģebýreþ here, which comes from the verb ģebýreþ. Not only does it mean happen and whatnot, but it also means like what belongs, what pertains to. And I'm thinking, oh wow, so like in this case with a sentence here with duty, that's like the same thing as dharma, one's duty, if you will. Because dharma in some cases can mean duty as well. I looked in other Germanic languages, like in Old High German here, we have Entibrurtnessi, which means order. And the second part, that is cognate to byrdnes in Old English. So I thought, okay, so this is the Germanic way of saying dharma. However, this is just me picking a word and thinking, okay, that's Dharma. But no, that's rather inaccurate. Rather, the more correct way to go about it is like to really ask, okay, what did the Anglo-Saxons, what was their word for religion? If you were to ask an Anglo-Saxon, what is religion? Like, what's the gloss? What's the word for religion in your language? Here we have an Old English word for religion, but religion in the context of piety, of devotion. So we have the word ēfæstnes, and to really get into this word as it is, as we see it, as we can read here, firmness in the law. Yeah, because the word firmness is referring to the fastness, and fastness means like not quick, but rather like something that's firm, like how someone fastens their buttons on their coat or whatever. So it's really firmness in the law. Okay, so in this context, it's really piety or devotion to the to the law. But let us dive into what a or au really means. So we have a or au, depending on the variant and dialect or what have you, period, what have you. This word on its own means law. It means right, it means marriage, it means custom. As well, its variant is a, and that means law too. Interestingly enough, this same word a also means always, ever. This evolved into our later word I, as in like kind of like an older way of saying ever. You would find it in like 19th century poetry where they would say they would use this word I, but meaning like forever. Moving on. But this word a and a, if you will. What about other Germanic languages? Well, in Old High German, you got Ēwa, Ēwa, meaning eternity, law. You know, it's the same word. It's cognate. It's the same thing. Moving on. We have in Old Saxon we have Ēw, which means it says they're immer, or meaning ever, always. It's the same idea. And then in Old Saxon again, Ēw, which means law, right? And it keeps on going. Even in Old Frisian, you got you got a. It means law. Even in Old Frisian, it means law and eternity. You know, it just keeps on going. You know, and the same thing with the Old Dutch. You know, we have the same word Ēwa, which means law and eternity. This notion of law and eternity, it's like you know, they go together. And this is the cognate in Gothic is time, lifetime, age, world, eternity, or what have you. And let's keep going. Even in Old Norse, this cognate meaning immer. Immer is German. So like always, forever. Here's another variant of the same word, always, or whatnot. And and another variant. So yeah, this idea of forever, eternal, law, and whatnot, given with these cognates. Well, now we can confirm that a means eternal law. Okay? Now, some of you may be wondering, how come we have law and not a today? You know, how can we have law in English? Well, the thing is with the Norsemen that came to England, their word log or lag, you know, came into English at that time as lahu, and through lahu, it became our English law, you know. So the Grendelg, the r, became a W later. Anyway, but what about natural? How does that fit in? Well, it turns out with the word a, if you go back to its Proto-Indo-European roots, that it means vital energy, or as in German, Lebenskraft. So by extension, that means natural, nature, life, if you will. So we can conclude from this. So what we have now is a, you know, meaning eternal, natural law. Okay, cool. Even the word for religious in Old English is ēfæst. So are you ēfæst? Are you fast in law? Are you in accordance with eternal, natural law? You know, with this deeper understanding, this esoteric, if you will, understanding of the word a, instead of just saying, oh, it's just law. You know, no, it's eternal, natural law, if you will. So now we can conclude that a, its variants and cognates in other Germanic languages, are the Germanic expressions, especially with a being the Anglo-Saxon expression of Sanatanadharma, eternal, natural law. And that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and please become a patron if you really like this channel. I had a lot of fun making it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.